In MHA, Deku is a young hero attending UA High, working towards his goal of becoming the world's greatest hero. Continuing in my series of videos looking at various different upgrades the heroes at MHA could get or need, I want to take a second look at our main hero. Previously, we've talked about how Deku could upgrade his suit, but that was way back when Deku had just gotten his costume Gamma in the anime. Since then, Deku has continued to master One for All, to the point where he's now beginning to awaken the ability to use the quirks of the previous users that are stored within it. Let's talk about a potential suit upgrade for Deku that focuses on his new Black Whip quirk, but first I want to remind you guys that you can follow me on Twitter at VocalPineapple and subscribe, click the bell icon, and hit notify in the drop-down menu to get updated whenever I've got a new upload. If you want the next suit upgrade, which is for Tokoyami of course, get this video to 5,000 likes. With all that out of the way, let's talk about Deku's Black Whip suit upgrade after that intro. If you're a new sub and weren't aware, or you just found this video while you were looking for something to watch, you can check out my other costume upgrade videos. So far I've done Todoroki, Bakugo, Ochako, a Deku one, and next up I have Tokoyami, so we have quite a number of these on the channel already. Regardless, why do I think that Deku needs a suit upgrade? Well, there's nothing really wrong with his existing suit per se, but as a huge fan of comics, I always think it's really cool how various heroes have different costumes or even loadouts depending on the arc of the story that they're in or who they're fighting. Spider-Man obviously comes to mind since not only is he one of the most well-known and recognizable superheroes, but he's also been able to maintain that even with literally thousands of variations to his costume. These variations sometimes have different pieces of gear that he can use or a special gimmick like web gliders, but you can see how having a few suits in your toolkit might be useful. Deku's existing costume Gamma has his iron soles, which add a second impact to all of his kicks, and the costume also comes with long sleeves that help Deku's arms that he can also latch onto a pair of gloves. The gloves that he's currently using are the Air Force gloves that he gets from Mei Hatsume in the second half of My Hero Academia Season 4, and we've already seen them animated and in action thanks to Heroes Rising, but expect to see them getting way more use soon. So that's why I commissioned the artist, Daru, for this costume upgrade, but what are the goals of the upgrade itself? Well, a lot actually goes into designing a hero outfit, and it definitely gives you a lot of insight into what Melissa Shield and Mei have to go through when making a custom design. There were 4 main things that we wanted to do with this suit upgrade. First, with Deku's new ability Black Whip in mind, we wanted to design a suit that would fit the quirk instead of forcing Deku to make the quirk fit the suit like he has been by shooting Black Whip through his gloves. Black Whip itself doesn't necessarily stem from only the hands, and at the very least we've seen the tendrils from the quirk coming out of Deku's forearm. As Deku learns to use the power for longer periods of time and in more creative ways, his suit will have to be adjusted to allow for Black Whip to operate a bit more freely, or he might end up tearing it apart like he did when the quirk first activated. Second, we wanted to improve on the design of the first upgrade. Obviously, with every new iteration of a design, you want to get rid of things that didn't work and add new things that you think might work. The first Deku suit redesign was based around allowing Deku to use more of his full cow power at higher percentages, while also lessening the damage or risk of self-injury that Deku might face in any given battle. This design keeps the spirit of the first design alive, but adds what it needs to make it worthy of an upgrade. Third, it was important that Deku's suit remains sleek without too many things to weigh him down, but the costume also has to be compatible with constant upgrades or changes. Deku's a hero that moves at really high speeds and even finds himself midair sometimes, depending on wind pressure and aerodynamics to get from point A to point B. On top of that, his quirk is like a multi-tool that can do a number of things, so you don't actually need a complicated hero suit design that's going to weigh him down with item after item. Having the option to go for a more sleek loadout might be good for certain operations, but with that said, due to Deku's ever-evolving quirk situation, it's important to make any future suit modular so that you can swap in and out already existing or yet to be designed support items. What you see is pretty much the base version of the redesign, but with the addition of Deku's Air Force gloves or his iron soles, you can actually imagine a Deku that looks far more equipped for battle. Finally, of course, for the sake of a hero's presence along with not being the laughingstock of the entire hero network, style was considered. I mean, yes, we added a black and red jumpsuit for night operations, but it was probably also because it was really cool. So what is included with this redesign? Let's start from head to toe. First off, we have the thing that you might think hasn't really changed that much at first glance, but you'd be wrong. Deku's jumpsuit has a number of changes and improvements from the suit itself to his hood that goes over his head. With this redesign, the jumpsuit has been upgraded to a stronger material, making it harder to burn, cut, or rip off. The shoulder pads in the previous design were a bit bulky even though they offered more defense. Since this design is all about keeping it sleek, his shoulder pads are actually integrated into the jumpsuit. These shoulder pauldrons are way smaller than the ones that we proposed in the last upgrade, but they also add an additional layer of protection without sacrificing ease of movement. We kept the jumpsuit design mostly the same to stay true to Inko's sketches because, obviously that's very important to Deku. But now it features a new small backpack of sorts. It's really more like a slightly raised surface near his shoulder blades, but I'm sure you're wondering, what is it for? Well, this is actually the hub for the suit's new Hero Awareness interface. The Hero Awareness interface uses state-of-the-art technology to scan cameras, police scanners, and the internet to determine if there are any developing or active crimes within a certain radius. There's more to the suit that we'll talk about in a bit, but first, let's talk about Deku's hood. With this look here, you can see that Deku's hood has been replaced with two pointed and advanced machine ears magnetically latched onto the plate that is Deku's backpack. If the Hero Awareness interface detects any danger nearby, the ears detach from the backpack, floating upwards into battle position, resting above Deku's head in a way that mirrors the ears from his old hood and, of course, All Might's hair. When up, the ears extend the range that the Hero Awareness interface can search to lead Deku towards the battlefront even easier, and in a way actually acting like a pair of giant digital ears. Deku's face mask has been improved, and not only does it block things like poisonous gas or Midnight's gas, but it also has an emergency oxygen feature in case Deku somehow gets dumped into an ocean or a body of water. The mask can actually extend upwards around Deku's eyes and face to form a full mask, and of course he can completely open it to show his smile to the people that he's there to save. The face mask is made of a strong material to block projectiles, shrapnel, and rubble, and the new chin guard offers additional protection against damage. There's a microphone and headphones built into the mask for communication and surveillance capabilities, and of course this is linked to the Hero Awareness interface and allows Deku to communicate with other heroes in real time. Its communication capabilities combined with the interface gives Deku the ability to share his plans and even call for backup with data about his location and health included. For his arms, the forearm-length sleeves that Deku normally wears, as well as his Air Force gloves, are replaced by a pair of forearm gauntlets that actually end around Deku's wrists. These gauntlets have a strong, hard exterior, with ports around the wrist for Deku to gather Black Whip into a single point if that's what he wants to do. I told you there was more to the jumpsuit, and now you can see that it actually features new sleeves that go all the way down to Deku's arms and even onto his hands. The black material that you see is actually a special membrane derived from Deku's hair that only allows Black Whip to pass through it without disturbing the fabric itself. This means that Black Whip can completely freely pass through this fabric on Deku's sleeve without destroying it or ripping it. The open gauntlet design and the special fabric being all over Deku's arms and hands should allow Deku to use Black Whip for more of a surface area, including even in his palms or near his elbows. On his hands you can see durable hard guards to absorb some shock from Deku's punches, while also making them feel like they're hitting even harder thanks to the strong material. On top of all of this, of course, the forearm gauntlets are entirely modular, and Deku's existing Air Force gloves can be snapped right onto them to allow him to put them on or off on the fly. Lastly, Deku's legs are one of the first things that he breaks, so of course he likes to keep those protected. His new leg wear is made of a more durable material that won't tear away like fabric, and it's built to take the force of Deku's kicks. Deku's iron soles are literally large clip-on style boots that probably wouldn't be good for any sort of quiet operation, so since this design is all about being sleek and maybe even doing some hero work at night or in the quiet, we decided to include some simple shoot style optimized armored shoes that have an extra piece of plate near the laces and a few other places. They don't feature the same explosive ability as Deku's iron soles, but they will let him move around quietly and nimbly without making too much noise and without leaving his feet defenseless. With this loadout, Deku should be fully equipped to handle the same scenarios that he's already been handling with Reckless Abandon, but now with the added benefit of a few new features, Deku's suit is way more of an asset in more situations than before. Instead of just wandering around town trying to figure out what's going on, imagine if Deku had the ability to know about crimes going on all around him without it coming from some kind of quirk. After all, Deku isn't really supposed to rely on a bunch of support items, but if he's gonna, why not use things that actually enhance his hero experience? Being able to communicate, pinpoint villains, and share ideas is going to show people how great of a hero Deku truly is, and it'd be wonderful to see a more active and about Deku hunting down villains to arrest or just responding to crimes. I can even imagine Deku wearing his jumpsuit under his costume so that he's always being updated on what's going on, sort of like how Endeavor has his costume under his clothes. Somehow. Next time I've got a costume design for everyone's favorite character who loves caves, Tokoyami. I've been hinting at doing some sort of Tokoyami video for the longest time, and finally, it's the boys' time to revel in the dark. This Black Whip costume version upgrade for Deku was fun and interesting, but since I already have a Deku upgrade video, I'm actually looking forward to see what you guys think about the Tokoyami one way more, so stay tuned. I think I'll actually be covering another Deku suit upgrade soon, but I'll talk about that closer to when I have that video done. I would love to do these videos year round, or at least a little more often, but the artist I commissioned the suit upgrades from is pretty busy, so I understand if this series goes on hold for a little bit after this batch of upgrades, but thankfully Tokoyami's is finished either way, so it's up to you guys to get that video made with 5,000 likes. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed the suit upgrade, and I hope you're looking forward to Tokoyami's. Let me know who else you'd love to see in the comment section below, and I love you guys. It's Pineapple. Peace.